Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome back to Bitcoin update today. Right, so as time passes by, it gets more and more clear what is going to happen. So I'm looking at Bitcoin and this is what I'm finding actually. And there are some few things that I'm going to talk about in this video that is going to make sense to you. So previously, some few days ago, we're not having enough data for me to tell you exactly what's going to happen in the market. But I slowly trying to figure out what exactly is Bitcoin trying to do. Now, I personally don't like, how Bitcoin is overbought on the 4-hour time frame, of course. I'm not talking about the weekly. But let's go on to the 4-hour time frame. And by the way, before the 4-hour, let's start with the daily. And you got Bitcoin here. Let's remove in the EMAs as well. And you're now popping out of this little bit of a falling, rising wedge, right? So you have a little bit of that rising wedge coming down and you're looking for this target, which is actually below the wedge. Second thing is today you're about to open up a new weekly candle. So it's the last day, and on the daily you're having an evening star, which is actually a bearish candle to continue lower. So this combined is going to push Bitcoin to the downside. And speaking of the weekly, you have another doji right here. Okay, so you got the first doji, and if that wasn't good enough, you got the second doji, and both of these combined can make Bitcoin to go down. These are decisive though. They're not bullish and they're not bearish. It's neutral and they're decisive. They don't mean that they're going to go down. But on the daily, it's pretty clear that the direction is to the downside, because in 47 minutes you're about to close this candle for today's candle, and if you close it like this, that's not good. That's not a very positive closing. That's more like a reversal to the downside. Basically, that's what it means. But then again, as I said, as time passes, you get to figure out what's going on. You guys do know that I'm not looking at Bitcoin only, and I'm pretty much into a lot of coins. Actually, I have many coins on my watch list, and I noticed that $29,000 is a very big resistance. It's really a big resistance, and I haven't noticed so many people talking about it. I don't even think it's noticeable, but it's something that so few people are going to talk about, and it's so important. And that is, if you dive into the weekly time frame here, what I'm going to do right now is remove the drawings for a second, and let's talk about a clear, format here. So you do have the dojis, right? You got the dojis. When you look into the daily time frame, you're potentially going to say, oh yeah, we got some continuation pattern maybe here. You're going to move even higher, and this is one of the trap of pattern making, when the market maker is making patterns, because he kinds of make you want to feel that this is like a continuation and it's going to move up. But that's the reason why we switch between different time frames. We draw line and resistances. We look at the RSI. And by the way, before I tell you the main resistance, speaking of the RSI, we got two different divergences. One is the prices are climbing up, the RSI is moving down. That's bearish as well. That's not good. Another divergence is right here. I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to show you that divergence, okay? Again, so Bitcoin is moving up like this, all right? Higher lows, lower lows on the RSI. That's another one, like almost like a hidden bearish divergence. So you got two different divergences, and that's not good, okay? So on the weekly time frame, this is what I've come to observe, and I've been looking at altcoins as well, and that's why I was telling you that I'm not trading only Bitcoin. I'm not doing analysis on Bitcoin only, but I'm looking at the altcoins as well. And it seems like on the weekly, a lot of them are on the weekly resistance right now. There's a weekly resistance that people are not looking at, and that is going to be the trend line I'm going to take here. So if you look at that and you draw it from there to there, that is a big massive resistance to break, okay? And if you break it, that will be amazing, because then again, there's no secret that you're looking at one support, second support, third touch, fourth touch, several few touches more, and then this is turning into being a resistance. Now I'm really wondering if this was like a double top and you've ever met the target. So let's look if you've ever go to the main target, because that's a double top as well. And let's see if you actually ever met the target, So the target was pretty much never met, $13,000 was something that Bitcoin should have, you know, targeted a long time ago, because that's the double top. But anyways, on the monthly, you can say that the target was actually met, because if you look at the monthly, the neckline is a little bit different, okay? The neckline, and I prefer the monthly one because it's like this. And if you consider the monthly, then the target was actually met. So here we go, from there to there, pretty much met, right? So yeah, it actually came down to the target. It actually totally depends on how you look at things at the moment. It's going to be a little bit tricky as well. I'm just going to undo some of the things here, and let's go back into the weekly. So the new month, by the way, speaking of monthly, the new month also has started, and we're right at that particular resistance at the moment. Who knows, you can bang your head here and try to even move to the downside. So I'm going to show you some altcoins as well that you know, are looking really, really bad on the weekly. Now, the first one is Musk, okay? Musk to USDT. And I've been looking at Musk, and, you know, I was thinking that, all right, so we got a little bit of a pattern here. You broke out, you're looking for this technical target. But if you end up looking at Musk as well, then number one, I was looking at, you know, this rising wedge, and, you know, I was kind of doing my private analysis here, and you're breaking out of the wedge here, and you're looking to come down to this technical target. I'm going to remove some of the drawings and then show you again. Well, you can see that on the smaller time frame it was pretty amazing, but on the weekly time frame you got this one resistance here, resistance there, resistance here, and then you have another resistance there. One can say you're probably making an inverse head and shoulder. Maybe it's time to break and then continue higher. But the main thing that I want to talk about is that this is still a resistance that Musk has met. So this is number one altcoin that is matching Bitcoin resistance, weekly resistance as well. The second one is going to be the following. So the second is Tomo chain, whatever this is, and this is on Binance. Got one touch here, second touch there, and now you reject it again. So it can actually crash down the same way, crash down here, or you can actually come down like this, pick it up, make this left shoulder head, right shoulder, and then break out and then continue higher on the weekly time frame. Okay, this can actually be even a reversal, you know, pattern in the future, and then go to the upside and make a bullish pattern. But the point is that you are at a resistance at the moment. So that's what I've been talking about. A lot of altcoins, they look to go down. A lot of altcoins, they still look to go to the upside. For example, Dogecoin is down, SHIB is down, some few other coins like Cardano as well is also down. We haven't seen anything from Cardano. Luna Classic is down. Jasmy is even literally down. We haven't seen any big movement from those coins either. So I don't know what's going to happen. We do have a very big gap at $20,000. That also, you know, I'm trying to scratch the surface of 20,000 gap on the CME gap. That's something you have to take seriously. Gaps do get filled, and I have to tell you that that's my responsibility in these updates as well, to tell you that, hey, you got to be careful about the gaps that is happening on Bitcoin as well. So it is what it is right now. 29,000, as I showed you, is actually a very big resistance right now. And that's pretty much it for this update. I'm going to see you in the next one. Allah Hafiz.